So think about using at work, you're at your desk, use those 5 minutes to create the item and then repurpose and reuse it. So what can you repurpose? What can you reuse? What can you find in the back end of your website, Facebook, and your Instagram? And come and do the course for her so that you actually understand it. If you're struggling with it, then you need to learn more.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group, where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So, as we carry on through the summer, we need to think about our numbers, as we were doing if you joined the event back in August. But what we're doing now, of course, is really thinking about those discussions that we had and how we can implement them. So we've already had a few, and now we've got Nikki. And Nikki is amazing. The Digital Exchange is a company that she runs. It's her agency. And she helps us, the seller, to create what they need, to be able to learn to do the SEO, to do the Facebook advertising, okay? I mean, she can do it for you, but you can also learn to do it by doing her courses. But we were talking about numbers, and that's what our summer is discussing. It's the numbers. So when she was talking about, well, our follower numbers. What are your follower numbers? Since you've listened to her podcast, and if you haven't, then pop back and have a listen, because some of it sounded a little bit intense, and I'm really hoping that we didn't overwhelm you. But that's why another reason I'm here today is with each of these, more questions have come up each time. And so I'm here with some of those questions that have come up afterwards. It can be difficult to implement these things. So number one, ask for help. If you need it, ask for it. I've got the help. Nikki's got the help. We've got the help there for you so that you can create what you need. Go and do the courses. Check them out. She's keeping them at a low price so that everybody can afford to do them. She's being really generous, I feel. So when we put ourselves out to the world, what are we doing? And a couple of things that I touched on, of course, are knowing who you're selling to, making sure that you're putting it out there at the right time, but also making sure that what you're offering isn't the end result, isn't the total answer. Because at the end of the day, if they're seeing, you might think, well, why not? I like to see the answer. They can Google the answer. All of our customers can just Google it, can't they? Everyone can just Google it. Dr. Google's out there, and you can just Google the answer, and hey presto, there's your answer. But it's not the same as having that person who's going to support you individually to get through everything, to deal with everything, to get over the humps, to be there for you, to create that future, right? And that's who we are. We are the coach. We are the helper. And we've got a number of problems with saying the result, I use this product, I use that product. It's actually against the TGA rules for people in Australia. So we can't sit around spruiking a product. We can't be showing a bottle of a product and going, well, wow, this is amazing, because that's an influencer. And we are all considered, and this is coaches who aren't part of associations or they're still in Australia. If it's a TGA approved product, which means it's got an Austell on it, it means we can't spruik it because that's going against their rules. We have to be really careful how we talk about things. So we do have to take out that this is the answer part of a post. All right. What we have instead is that this is how I've done it with this person. I used herbs and supplements. Finished. right? That's it. You don't say what the herbs are, you don't say what supplements are. You just say, well, that's what I did. And they had to have diet change. They took onion out of their diet. They took garlic out of their diet. So we're saying these things. And when are we putting them out to our client? What time of day and who is our ideal client? And that's one thing about using Meta and Facebook is when you go to create an advert, you're actually choosing your target audience. So you do need to know who your target audience is so that it reaches the right people. You're sending it out to the age group that you want, the people in the countries that you want. And it might be you choose not to do America, okay, because of the time zones. The time zones can be really tricky. I have a number of British clients, but again, the time zones are really tricky. So we've got to work out who can we work with in the time zone that we can work in. And if you're a morning person, you probably can do a lot of the US because you just have to be up early to do a lot of the US. Whereas up early for the UK, that's almost midnight for them. It's really late in the evening. So they may not get what they need by seeing you at 10 p.m. their time, even though you're up at 7 or 8. So we do have to think about the time zones of the people that we work with. And that's part of deciding who your client base is. It's where are they? Who are they? Where are they? And what time are they online? Wednesday is, so I don't know, maybe the word's notorious for being the time to post on social media and to do things on socials, to send emails, because that's when people are taking a break. It's hump day, they're halfway through the week and they're having a look. But knowing our numbers is really important and getting people to go to our website from our social media posts. So comment below and I'll send you the link, I'll DM you, is a great way of getting people just into a different part of their social media if they comment. Because we have to remember that if you say, check my website, they've got to leave social media and they're really enjoying the reels. Whereas if you say comment below and I'll send you the ebook, or I'll say, because of course you don't actually just physically send them the ebook because you can't in Instagram. It won't allow you to upload those sorts of things. But what it will do is let you DM them your website. So then they're ready to go into their DMs. Then they're ready to leave social media, go elsewhere and do what we need them to do, which is to book in with us or to download the freebie or whatever. People need to make an effort to get things because then hopefully they'll read it. A lot of the time people don't make it, just automatically arrives in their inbox. It might go into promotions. They forget to go and look and they've never opened it. I've probably got a ton of freebies in my promotions folder. And then on a Thursday, I delete my promotions folder. So I don't have them anymore. So we do have to think about how am I sharing? What am I sharing? And when are these people here? So we need to look back at our analytics. We need to discover our analytics and spend some time. It might be that that is the time that you find it a stressful thing to do. So it might be that you don't do it sitting at your desk or, you do it sitting outside with a cup of tea so that you try to take the stress away from the techie aspect. Because a lot of people, oh, I can't do tech. I really struggle with tech. It's so awful. And for me, it's not necessarily that I struggle with, I'm pretty good with tech, I've got to say, but it annoys me after a bit. Has to be an easy way of doing this. Or I'm just over it. I'm going to get somebody else to do it. I've got better things to do with my time. I can pay somebody to do this and their time, I can pay them cheaper than my time. My time is valuable. My time is valuable to me. So we have to make those decisions. But we have to know when people are hanging out, looking at our stuff, or not necessarily looking at our stuff, but being online so that we can put our stuff in front of them. So that is your challenge from last week listening to Nikki and to now, is to make sure that you have gone to have a look. You've gone and looked at her stuff. You've signed up for her freebies, but you've gone and looked as well at all of your own times. What's happening in your analytics? What can you improve? Have you activated the Google Analytics and put that on your website? Is it working for you? I mean, I use a free thing, Dib. I'll put the link to that in the bottom. And that messages me once a week and tells me what's working, what's not, and what my flow is like. It's not as good as understanding it myself, but it does remind me to go and look. It reminds me that I've got to follow up on backlinks and all sorts of things. And we need those reminders. We need to delegate ourselves time. I'm not saying, because we can delegate this job to somebody else, yes, we need to give ourselves time. So I'm saying delegate yourself the job to say, right, every, I don't know, Thursday morning. Thursday's the day that I check my promotions. I don't know why, but I tend to go through my promotions on a Thursday morning. And so that's become a habit. And so we need to, what we do, delegate time and say, I'm going to check my SEO. I'm going to do keywords, a keyword search. I'm going to look at these things at this particular time. If you're working in an office or you're working office hours, so you're seeing clients, and while you're there in that office, there's always work to do. There's always research to follow up. And you might think, oh, my first client's at 10 a.m. I can get a sleep in. No. The simple fact is, if you're meant to be there from 8:30, be there at 8:30, because that hour and a half could be your SEO time, could be that discovery time. Block it in. Say, when can I do this? And especially if you leave the house to work, you find that time to do it and you block it in. Thursday tends to be my day to do these things, because Mondays I'm seeing all my mentees. Mondays and Tuesdays, the Monday lunchtime group, the clinical discussion group, which is amazing, which you can join if you have clients. Then that one, I'm there on a Monday. So I'm talking, I'm in front of my camera. So that, and Tuesday is very similar. Thursday tends to be a juxtaposition of things. That's when I traditionally have run my weight loss program on a Thursday. I called it Weight Loss Thursday for a really long time. It was super intelligent, wasn't it? Best name ever. And there is you can go and get the program. You can buy the program and do it with your clients. No longer called Weight Loss Thursday. There's lots of options for you to call it different things now. Because who wants to call it Weight Loss Thursday? Only someone who wasn't really thinking about it when they developed their program, which is me. Now there's lots of new names, so you can pick your name and you can use that program. If you're interested, go and check it out, geraldineheadley.com. It's there. And the link will go below. But we're not talking about that. What we're actually talking about are your numbers. And if you've gone and checked, like if you've gone to geraldineheadley.com, I will see your numbers. I will see that you have gone to my website. I will see how far you've got down. And that's my Podia site. So the analytics for that are not as good. I can't put the heat map on there, for example, that I can put on Mentoring with Geraldine. So Mentoring with Geraldine is a standalone website, but I carry everything at geraldineheadley.com. That's where all my courses are and all of the information is. So two different things. And I sometimes wonder, do I keep Mentoring with Geraldine? Do I keep that URL and just direct it to geraldineheadley.com and just use the system? So Podia is like Kajabi, is like, it carries a course. It's a course carrying system. So when we're looking at our numbers, different platforms give us better analytics. So geraldineheadley.com, my analytics are reduced because it's a platform owned by somebody else. Whereas my analytics for my website, Mentoring with Geraldine, I can get more analytics on that, but it doesn't actually carry as much. So you go there and then you want to buy a course, it will send you to the purchasing page on Podia. So you will end up over on Podia anyway. So I think, but I get my analytics, right? Google My Business. If you haven't signed up for it, then now is the time to do it, because you actually have to wait for a verification code and it can take time. So the simple fact is, if you haven't got it, go and do that now. It's very, very simple. You can also get verified over on Apple Maps as well. So it's worth doing that. So Google Maps and Apple Maps, and that's where the business settings are. And it's worth having both of them. So go and check both of those out. There's another little job. So this fortnight from Nikki and from today, it's all about you really putting that toe in the water. Dip that toe in the water and go, what numbers can I find? What analytics can I find? How can I stretch myself? I'm just going to sit in the back end of my Instagram for half an hour and go through it and see what there is, see what people are touching on, see what people are seeing. I'll go into the back end of my Facebook, see what people are seeing, see what they're touching on, and now I'm going to go into the back end of my website and I'm going to do the same. It's really important that we spend time in the background of our systems to know our numbers, and then we're not scared of it because we're hanging out there. And if you set aside specific time to do that, then it's not an onerous task. It's like setting aside your time to create your social media posts, for example, to design them, to create them. It might be that you can just do it live and turn that into a reel. If you're sitting in an office, sitting at your desk is the best time to sit down and say, hey, I've just seen this client. They came to see me with this, that, and the other thing. Oh, bad skin. I have a little pimple on the side of my face. They're coming with bad skin. And I talk to them about not only the supplements and herbs and the diet change that they're going to need, but having fresh sheets and fresh pillowcases. Did you know you needed to do that? Did you know that you needed to make sure that your shampoo is salicylate free? Do you do a hair oil soak occasionally? Do you massage your head? Because those are the things that in your business you're not going to sell or do, right? So you can talk about those and offer those as the free tips and snippets. And then say, when you come to see me, we're going to look at your gut health. We're going to work out your gut because, of course, the skin is the largest excretory organ. You've just done a reel, you've just done a live, and you've just done it from your desk in between your clients. So think about using at work, you're at your desk, use those 5 minutes to create the item and then repurpose and reuse it. So what can you repurpose? What can you reuse? What can you find in the back end of your website, Facebook, and your Instagram? And come and do the course so that you actually understand it. If you're struggling with it, then you need to learn more. And so links are, of course, below the chat, below this. So I really look forward to seeing you next time. Got another guest again next week. So I'll look forward to seeing or hearing you or hearing from you on the next one. So have a good one. Catch up with you soon. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.